What's up everyone, OJ here, welcome back to another video. Today we've got some great information for you guys, so let's go ahead and get right into it. And we're starting off with my baby, Astral Chain. It's been a while since we've talked about this game on the channel, so I decided that we need to change that up. So in a recent blog post, the cinematic artist Takehito Iwagami talked about the facial animations in the game and what he needed to do, and it seems a bit crazy looking at some of these design documents that he has here and just looking at the overall look of the game and what Tora-san wanted from him in this. So let's go ahead and get into what he had to say. So the characters in Astral Chain were designed by famous manga artist named Masakazu Katsuda. I knew I had to make these characters expressive and emotional enough to do his designs justice, lest I incur the wrath of his many fans, which, you know, those anime fans, they will come after you. I spent a lot of time poring over Katsuda's work, from art books to manga like Zetman and Tiger and the Bunny, to let the expressiveness of his characters really sink in. The main character of Astral Chain isn't completely unvoiced. You can hear them calling out to their legion as they fight. However, the main character doesn't have any dialogue of their own in the main story cutscenes. Before I started animating anything at all, director Takehisa Tura and I discussed what overall impressions each character's facial expressions should have. Tura told me, quote, "I want players to be able to project themselves onto the player character so they naturally feel like part of the game. So don't give the player character any extreme expressions that might give them too much of a predefined personality," end quote. Once again, that is a very difficult thing to do. Throughout my animation career, I'd always taken it for granted that each character should move with a distinct rhythm and have striking poses that are all their own. This was the first time I'd had to make facial animations for a character with no dialogue, and a main character at that. Making expressions that met both Tora's expectations and my own personal standards took a lot of time. Not to mention all the trial and error that went into animating all the other characters' faces too. Now, he talked about animating other characters, but I wanted to show you guys once again this behind the scenes kind of animation in the software and everything. This just looks so cool, and I'm always down to see how the graphic artists and everything kind of animate things, because Tora-san said, wait a minute, this game with Astral Chain, we're going to have the player project themselves onto the character. For example, you can pick any skin color, you can pick different hairstyles, you can pick between male or female, so no matter who you are, you're going to be able to pick up this game and kind of have that image of you playing in there if you want it to be. Now, you can pick the default character if you want to, but I love the fact that he said, hey, do it to where there's not any crazy expressions, because you are going to be that character, and if they're doing some type of silly, crazy expression that you wouldn't normally do, it might take you out of the experience for some people who want to feel like they're in there with a character that looks like them. So I understand what Tora-san had to say, but it's really cool to see the different expressions and kind of what's going on here. But it's not going to be crazy, and you're not going to see a bunch of dialogue and everything, so I understand it from that standpoint. But to kind of get the behind the scenes look at it is actually really cool. Once again, Astral Chain does drop August 30th worldwide on the Nintendo Switch. It's one of my most anticipated Switch games, and of course Platinum Games is behind this one, so you know it's going to be really good. So if you want to see more information on Astral Chain, I already have a bunch of videos that I've already done. Make sure you check them out on the channel. And what do you guys think about what the cinematic artist had to say here on the matter? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, and moving into the next topic here, something that's sure to break many Earthbound and Mother fans' hearts around the world, and that is because Bandai Namco, or Namco at the time, and Nintendo were considering an Earthbound game for the Nintendo GameCube. So Yasuyuki Hon may work at Monolith Soft now, but back in the day he was part of Namco. News of Iwata-san's book coming from Earthbound creator Shigesato Itoi gave Hon reason to take to Twitter and share a story involving both Itoi and Iwata from back in the day. Now, according to Hon, the two companies had a pitch session about potentially creating an Earthbound game on the Nintendo GameCube, which would have just been absolutely nuts. So here's what he had to say exactly. Quote, "Looking forward to Iwata-san's book. I met both Iwata-san and Itoi-san in 2003 when Namco and Nintendo were considering to make a GameCube version for Mother, or Earthbound as we call it here in the States. I created a mock-up which was shown to Iwata-san. I felt Itoi-san wasn't interested and suspected so as the conversation continued. Then Itoi-san said, in any case, perhaps Iwata-kun should come up with the story. Everyone in the room gasped. Iwata looked shocked. In the end, the conversation drifted, but Itoy-san amused himself with the idea of the felt taste that resembled America in the 1980s. So this is a picture I thought would never see the day of light again. My memories of summer 2003, which is just absolutely crazy just looking through this. Obviously, this is just some rough sketches here and some images, and they were just a little bit of a mock-up. It wasn't what the game was going to end up being, obviously. Like, the way that the game would look in an actual gameplay with the Nintendo GameCube would have been different, but it's interesting nonetheless to see that they were actually talking about a Earthbound game on the GameCube. As many of you guys know, Earthbound 64 never ended up being a real thing. That ended up getting repurposed into Mother 3, which has still not been released worldwide yet, but it's on the GBA and you can play it on your PC. If you want to play it with English, you can play it there. There's a good translation out there for it. But that's the whole, come on, Reggie, give us Mother 3 meme and everything. But, you know, this is just crazy. The fact that Earthbound never came out and they never did anything with it past that. Because I feel that Earthbound is so uniquely Japanese, and Nintendo kind of felt that it's just too Japanese for the States, or there's some issues that they'd have with localization. But I really would love for them to bring the Earthbound series back. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but seeing Lucas and Ness and seeing what they can do and potentially realizing that in like a Nintendo Switch game just makes me think they need to just bring it back. They need to do something and just make sure that it be fit for a worldwide audience. Repurpose it, make it kind of different, do whatever they need to do. But I honestly feel that Earthbound would do well in today's day when it comes to the Nintendo Switch. And it's sad to see that Earthbound on the GameCube was never made, because I think that they could have had success with Earthbound if they decided to make it. And obviously it looked way different from what we saw here, what we're seeing here, but I feel that there could be some nice success as well, because people had already seen who Ness was from the Super Nintendo and everything. But hey, it is what it is there, guys. This is something that's not gonna happen, and I don't know if the Earthbound series is ever gonna come back based on what some of the creators have said and everything, so we'll see at the end of the day. But what do you guys think about this? Would you guys have liked to see an Earthbound game on the GameCube? And what do you guys think about the modern proposition for an Earthbound game like on the Switch or something? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Alright, I'm moving on to the final topic here. Nintendo has explained why now is the great time, or the perfect time, to have the Nintendo Switch Lite. So we had a lot of rumors and speculation and everything, and obviously the Nintendo Switch Lite has been revealed. This is a portable only, cheaper Nintendo Switch that replaces the Joy-Cons with a modular system like a PS Vita, makes the screen smaller. You have no HD rumble. They replaced the left Joy-Con. They have a regular D-pad, and it's like there's been a few different refinements with the look of it in terms of how you see it and the durability of the system. Seems like it might be a bit sturdier for children out there. Basically, those are the gist of the changes there. But Doug Bowser actually did an interview recently where he talked about why this is the best time for the Nintendo Switch Lite. So here's what he had to say, quote, "We believe the timing is right when we have momentum. This is the perfect opportunity for us to offer more choices and to bring more consumers into Nintendo Switch in the third year. When you tie that with the software that we just announced at E3, we've got a perfect opportunity as we head into the holiday." And I personally feel that he's absolutely right about that. When people were asking me about the Switch Mini and when they think that they're going to do it, I always said that September is probably the perfect time to do so, because they have 3 major games coming out in September with Daemon X Machina, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, and Dragon Quest XI S Definitive Edition. So with those 3 games, and with 2 of them probably being games that people are going to want to play portable and going to be games that are going to be popular in Japan and people want cheaper options, I think it makes sense to release it in September, and it's going to be a perfect thing to kind of head into October and then November with another Pokemon model coming out with the Pokemon Sword and Shield Nintendo Switch Lite on November 8th. So to me, it makes sense. I do think that it is the perfect time to have a Nintendo Switch Lite, and I think that the system is going to do extremely well, which I talked about in my live reaction. And it's interesting to see some of the backlash from people being upset about having a cheaper option with the Nintendo Switch, as if the regular model Nintendo Switch is going to disappear or something like that. I think that having cheaper models is always a good thing, and if you're going to sell a lot of systems, you're going to have a cheaper model, especially with software being $60 and being expensive as software can be. You're going to have cheaper models if you want to reach a lot of high sales numbers. So it makes sense to me, and I think that Nintendo's going to employ that strategy nicely. With Pokemon coming out, you also have Luigi's Mansion, Link's Awakening. There's just so many games that are coming out that were only on portable systems before, so to me it makes sense. But what do you guys think about all this different news that we talked about here? I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts in the comment section below. Alright guys, that wraps it up for this video here. Go to check out the links in the description below. We got Facebook and Twitter. Go ahead and give us a like and a follow on our social media. Hit that like button if you did like this video. Let me know you guys want more content like this going forward in the future. And subscribe to PlayerEssence for this RPG, Japanese, and Nintendo gaming news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.